So we're here at the George Street Community Store, Altrincham Community Hub, with Alex Newby, who's just signed with the club permanently. Alex, was this an easy decision for you, and how did you come to this decision?
Yeah, I mean, it was quite an easy decision. Yeah, with how the past 3 months have gone, really, and how much I've been enjoying it here, and that's the main thing for me. Just to be enjoying my football, and obviously the chance to create, make history really at this club and get us promoted to the EFL. That would be a massive thing for me personally, and obviously for the whole town and the whole club. So yeah, there was a lot of appeal.
And in terms of your season so far, you featured in 16 National League games. You scored 7 goals, got 3 assists. How would you assess your season individually so far?
Yeah, I think obviously I've been enjoying it. I think I've chipped in, like you said, with a few goals and assists, which obviously as part of my game as a forward and as a wide player, that's what I need to be doing to help the team. So from a stats point of view, delighted with what I've been able to do. Hopefully I can add a few more between now and the end of the season, and obviously, yeah, just hopefully they can contribute to wins for the team as well.
And the club are playing some really good football at the moment. We've got some really good crowds, good attendances, a lot of support for the club at the moment. But that's mostly, if not all, down to our front line, how they've been performing. How would you assess the sort of team performance going with the likes of Regan, Chris, yourself, and Justin in particular this season?
I mean, yeah, I think as a front four we complement each other quite well. I mean, there's obviously similarities in some of the what we do as a front four, but also we're very different players, and I think like I said earlier, we like complement each other quite well. And it's enjoyable to play around. What you want to be playing with good players and be around good players, and that's what we're fortunate to have here. We've got a lot of good players, and not just the front four, but there's a lot of very good players at this club, and we've got a strong side at the moment, as we're showing. In the table doesn't lie, does it?
Altrincham scored 68 goals in the whole of last season. So far this season, we scored 62 goals. What would you put that down to? Why do you think it's clicking so much better in the attacking way this season?
Well, obviously I wasn't at the club last season, so I can't really comment on that. But like I said, just I think the way that especially as a front line, we sort of complement each other really well, and there's a lot of unselfishness as well that goes into that as well. I think that we all know that if we see each other in a better position, then I think we're a bit more patient with, in terms of not always snatching at a shot when there's an opportunity to maybe build up a bit more and find someone in a better position. I think that unselfishness is obviously, it's a big part of it. I think that a lot of the top teams have that as well. If you look at like the likes of Man City and the top teams, they're all very unselfish. You don't see a lot of outside the box, like 20-yard, 30-yard screamers from them. It's all well worked goals, and I think the way we're working in training with the gaffer and Sorves as well, it's all about finding each other in space, and can you find the spare man in the final third. So I think that's probably one of the reasons.
And in terms of last month, we're going to pick out the Barnet game in particular. You scored in the opening minute of the game inside 55 seconds, I think. I think a few fans were still getting to their seats. The gaffer always comes in a little bit late, so he might have still been walking down the tunnel, in fact. What would you have made of that goal in terms of like your movements? Chris's quickly worked free kick as well. What would you put that down to? Was that a move off the training ground?
No, it wasn't off the training ground. It was like I said, when you're playing with good players, and I think me and Chris were on the same wavelength there, where I saw him going to take the ball, and I just gave him a little look, and he looked up at me, and then I just sort of just nudged my head saying put it in there. So he put a great ball in, and it caught the defence out, and yeah, I've not scored many quicker than that, I wouldn't say, in my career, so delighted.
And against Eastleigh, Barnet, Solihull, Aldershot, Ebbsfleet, and Bromley, you were assisted by Chris Clark. I think he's got 6 out of 7 of your assists he's helped directly and been involved with. What do you like so much about playing with him as a footballer, but also like as a character off the pitch as well? What can you see from him?
Yeah, he's obviously a very talented player, and like I said, I think we're on a similar wavelength in terms of me seeing seeing his runs and him seeing my runs, and yeah, I think it's just a joy to play with players of that ability, really. And when you've got good players, you can, it's very easy to sort of to link up with, and for me to play with Chris, obviously it's getting the best out of me, and I'd like to think it's getting the best out of him as well.
And this weekend we've got Solihull Moors away, of course. Altrincham earlier in the season beat them 6-1. You were involved in the goals, but also scored one of the goals, which Chris laid off to you, and you put it top right corner of the net. It was a really nice finish. What can you say about that day in particular, but also that goal? Can you talk us through what was going through your mind when you scored that as well?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great day, obviously. Winning 6-1 at home against one of our rival teams who are in the playoffs as well. So I think, I don't think it'll be a game like that on Saturday. I wouldn't have thought, they'll be coming out on Saturday like they obviously with a bit of revenge to get after that. It was a game I thought we dominated, and obviously, I think we started the game strong from what I can remember, and we seemed to just finish our chances that day, and everything was sort of going for us. And obviously that's similar with my shot, where I've maybe took it on, as I was saying, like not to take on them sort of opportunities earlier on, but that's probably what I did on that occasion, and thankfully it ended up in top corner, so take it.
And we've talked about some of your goals this season. I think probably the most notable one was the free kick in the final minutes at Bromley. What would be your chosen favourite memory so far at Altrincham?
A memory, or just one of the goals, or it probably is the Bromley goal, I'd say. I think just the way the game was sort of shaping up, it didn't really look like we were going to get anything out of it, and then to obviously score a goal like that in the dying minutes of the game, there's not much from a personal point of view that I can think of better than that.
And finally, in terms of your message to the Altrincham supporters, what would that be? Because obviously there was a lot of different things being said about whether you would stay, whether you would be here at the end of January or not. But you're here. What would you say to the Altrincham fans?
Yeah, I mean, the fans have been brilliant with me since I came here. Obviously, that's, I'd say, one of the reasons why it was an easy decision to stay, because they've made me feel really, really welcome, really at home, and that's that sort of that love and appreciation that you can get from a fan base is rare. So I think that, they've been brilliant for us as a team the last few games as well, really showing up in numbers, and you can feel the support out there on the pitch as well. So yeah, hopefully they can continue to support us in numbers, and we're going to need everyone behind us really going into the last few months of the season.
So congratulations on the new permanent deal at Altrincham Football Club, and let's hope we can kick on and push for a playoff spot and hopefully get promoted this season.
Yeah, absolutely.